Happy New Year to all teachers! Here is the SRI release update from Usec Annalyn Sevilla as of December 29, 2020. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button for you to be updated on my next upload. Watch the full video para malaman kung kailan matatanggap ang SRI. On December 29, 2020, DepEd Undersecretary for Finance Annalyn M Sevilla posted on Facebook an update on the release of SRI and gratuity pay. She wrote, "Dear DepEd teaching and non-teaching personnel, on this last and longest working day of fiscal year 2020, let me give you some updates on the preparation for and processing of the 2020 SRI for eligible permanent positions and the 2020 gratuity pay for COs and GOs. AO37 on SRI and AO38 on GP were officially released on December 21st and 28th respectively. The DBM budget circular on SRI was released on December 22. The Facebook page of the DepEd Undersecretary for Finance issued these AOs and DBMBC for dissemination of the information and for the concerned individuals to comprehend the provisions of the said AOs. Even if we want to immediately process and release the SRI and GP, there are procedures that DepEd has to comply with before we can grant the said benefits or incentives. Remember that DepEd is the biggest employer in the entire government or bureaucracy, and we are almost 1 million personnel in total now, extensively distributed to various schools, division and regional offices, and the central office. SRI and GP are both sourced from the available savings or balance of funds of the entire agency. Hence, for DepEd's SRI of 10K each, we need a total savings of 10 billion pesos to generate. Your finance offices from various levels of governance, such as school, division, regional, and central offices, are working very hard to consolidate and identify more funding sources to reach this 10 billion peso fund balance. Coordination with DBM has been ongoing since the release of the SRI admin order, and we thank the DBM for its support, coordination, and cooperation to find ways for SRI to become a reality for all DepEd employees. Several letters to extend special accommodation to DepEd have been officially sent to DBM. What we can do now in DepEd is to use our remaining balances in the personal services and also request for realignment or modification of available MOOE funds for SRI. Once DBM approves our request, DepEd can obligate the PS fundings and pay for the uniform SRI pay next year, 2021. If the MOOE 2020 funds is extended for use until 2021, we can also use those funds for additional SRI until we reach the allowable 10,000 pesos per employee. We cannot compare DepEd to smaller agencies which can process and find funds for its smaller number of personnel. As DepEd family, we need to comply with the provisions of the AO and collectively accept the intention that we need to uniformly give to all eligible personnel. We need your patience and understanding while we do the appropriate steps and processes. As DepEd family, let us still be grateful for the unexpected benefits we receive, and let us please apply our teachings to our learners, which are values on professionalism, responsible social media practice, teamwork and gratitude or compassion for others. Maligayang Pasko at sana ay mas ligtas at manigo ang ating bagong taon ng 2021. On December 23, 2020, Usec Annalyn Sevilla wrote a letter to Secretary Wendell E. Avisado of the Department of Budget and Management. The letter is a request to release the SARO or Special Allotment Release Order in a sum of 2,375,216,000 pesos to partially cover the requirement of the Department of Education in granting the SRI 2020 to its 941,985 teaching and non-teaching personnel who are eligible for such grant. She also requested that the amount be released instead to the DepEd Office of the Secretary proper or the central office for final distribution to arrive at a uniform rate of the incentive. On the same day, Usec Annalyn Sevilla also wrote a letter to Secretary Wendell Abisado. The letter is a request to release the SARO or Special Allotment Release Order in the sum of 1,810,965,960 pesos and 83 centavos to cover the deficiencies in the fiscal year 2020 personal services allocations of various DepEd operating units, particularly for the payment of regular salaries and other compensation benefits of our teaching and non-teaching personnel, including the funding requirements for the implementation of the Salary Standardization Law or SSL 5, summarized as follows. She also requested that the SARO be released instead to the DepEd Central Office to give the office greater flexibility in the distribution of the allotment. So that is the latest update on the SRI release. For now, let us thank all the personnel who are working tirelessly to fast-track the release of this SRI and make it a reality.